Hello, and welcome to Home Inspector Marketing 101 by InspectorBranding.com. Before we get started, I want to take a quick second to introduce myself. My name is CJ Halleck, and I've been making websites for over 20 years and been marketing almost as long. About 5 years ago, I made my first leap into the home inspector field with a friend of mine, KC Bartley. After a few years of working with KC, I started to migrate to working with home inspectors exclusively and have been now for over a year. I officially launched Inspector Branding earlier this year, and I have to say this is one of the best industries I've ever been a part of. So I thought I'd put this training together for you all as a way of saying thank you for welcoming me into the industry the way you all have. So let's jump into what we're going to cover inside of the Home Inspector Marketing course. We'll start today with the Client Compass, a breakdown of the journey your target market will go through. We'll continue with our next class, the Social Media Matrix and Party Plan, an overview of social media marketing for home inspectors. And then we'll get to the Content Crank. This is my personal secret, evolved from Gary Vaynerchuk's content marketing deck, to put out a ton of content with little work and dominate with branded mass content marketing. Enough of that, let's get to it. First things first, the Client Compass. The Client Compass is the breakdown of the journey that your client will make in order to get from where they are to where they want to be. This is going from a person who thinks, I want to buy a house, through buying and living in their forever home. This is important because when you know what your target market is thinking and can prove that you're there to help them by actually helping them, you build on a relationship before it even exists. So the purpose of the Client Compass is to know what would actually help, understanding every step it takes to move your potential clients to being your actual client. The magic with this exercise is not just going through the initial steps. When you understand every step of their journey and can help them even after the home inspection, you create brand ambassadors, which are the key to growing your business into a brand that is known as the best. Let's be honest, it's hard to understand what someone is going through without understanding who they are. So the first thing we need to focus on is your target market. Most home inspectors will have a target market that is about 90% the same. We'll simplify that as someone who wants to buy a house. The last 10% will change based on demographics, geographics, and psychographics for your business. And this is just a fancy way of saying that there are some things that will change with people based on where they're located and a few other small factors. But for now, the 10% is not the magic we're talking about. The 90% you all share is important. That is because at the core, your target market wants one thing. So what does your client want? It's really not what you think. They don't want a home inspection. They want a home. But not just a home. They want to buy a home that is a good purchase. They want a safe home, and they want to know that they won't have any unexpected surprises. And that isn't just a surprise leak in the attic. They want to get from thinking that they want to be a homeowner to being a homeowner with no worries. You have the knowledge to help them with the journey, but do you know the journey? I like to call it the Homebuyer's Roadmap. Look, with almost 20 years in marketing, I've seen hundreds of hours of training, both in person and online. I've studied many different strategies, and almost every one of them are improved drastically by implementing this exercise. But don't worry, I did most of the legwork for you. I knew if I was going to be able to truly help you, I had to get in the mind of your target market. So I reached out through my network and spoke to all sorts of people, from a friend who's a teacher who just bought a home, to real estate agents, mortgage brokers, and others. While talking to a few real estate agents, I got 8 of them to send me their own version of what we'll call a mind map of the entire process for their clients. I've added to it after hours and hours of research, and there are some changes made for your clients. Now, there are 8 parts to the Homebuyer's Roadmap, with different steps for each part. Introduction, decide, find home, open escrow, loan process, closing, making it home, and the final part is for those that choose to sell their home. Now, I'm not going to cover every step inside of the different parts in detail because you already know a lot of this. But I will show you a page at the end with a full roadmap so you have that as a resource. Now that we have that out of the way, the introduction is basically just an about section. It's using what you have at your disposal to educate your potential clients on why they should come to you, the home inspector, first. Now, the official process starts with a simple thought. I want to buy a house. The problem is that you can't always find the people the second they think they want to be a homeowner. But what you can do is help them make decisions and help them move forward in the process. And this part of the homebuyer's roadmap is decide. This is when they define what they need in a home for their family, find the right agent for them to work with, and pre-qualify for a home loan. Moving through the journey they're on, most people will tell them that the first thing they should do is go get an agent. But we're not there yet. The first thing they need to do is define their musts before starting anything. This is important, and with a blog post or a video, you can help them go through the questions they should ask themselves and what they need to consider before they move forward. How many bedrooms and bathrooms do they need? Do they need a home office? What school zone do they want to live in? Do they want a garage, a big yard, a pool? Do they want a smaller house, or do they want a bigger house where they can host dinner parties? There are a lot of different things they need to cover here, but in the end, walking them through this process will help keep you, the inspector, in front of their mind. Also, and this is a big one, the agents will love you for this because it will make their job a lot easier in finding the clients their perfect home, and it will save them time in not having to go through this process. This takes us to the next step, helping them find the right agent for them. There are some questions here that will help them with the process as well. Hint, some of this can be amazing content on social media. Wink, wink. Now, back to the questions. Is there an agent that specializes in the area you want? And this is big because if there's a specific neighborhood that has one or two agents that focuses only in that area, they'll be better to answer questions and help with the specifics. What kind of personality do they work best with? This is also important because your clients aren't all the same, and some people work better with some personality types than others. You seriously can help them here a lot more than you think. Reach out to the agents that you know you can put your name behind and set up an interview. You can do this as a video, a podcast, a blog, or all three. Then if you have a website, you can add a recommended agents page and list all of your interviews. This helps build trust with your potential clients, and after you do 3 to 5, you'll start having agents contact you instead of the other way around. One last side note on this. It may be a bit of work, but an interview of them talking about selling homes is exactly what they are likely to share. By they, I mean the agents. And that means you are getting in front of their clients. The last step in this part of the homebuyer's roadmap is to pre-qualify for a home loan. While you can talk about this process, I believe your best bet is to interview some mortgage brokers and let the professionals handle the stuff with all the legal talk. Now, while they know what they're looking for, the process of finding that home is never easy. This is where, as a home inspector, sharing posts of listings from real estate agents will help keep you front of mind for people in this step. And the next 2 steps, making an offer and negotiating terms, are smaller steps, but making sure they are prepared for what that entails is very important. The last step is the purchase agreement. All of these are great subjects to interview realtors about and use for content to educate the market. Another great source of content is to interview someone from a title and escrow company for the next part of the roadmap, open escrow. This is where your clients will choose a title and escrow company, deposit earnest money, seller's transfer disclosure, and the title search preliminary report. The loan process is the next part of the homebuyer's roadmap. This is a big step for home inspectors because for the most part, this is where you do your job. Of course, an interview with a mortgage broker to discuss how to find a good broker and walking them through the initial steps of the loan process is very helpful. The next thing is a land survey. While not as important for safety reasons, surveyors have their own level of importance. So I recommend partnering with a reputable land surveyor for an interview and potentially exchanging and engaging with each other's content. Then we have the pre-purchase home inspection. And there isn't anything you shouldn't share in this process. Educate your potential clients on everything that you can do. No, it won't be overnight, but you can easily do at least 1 blog post per week. Then we have the appraisal, which is similar to the survey, removing the contingencies and the actual loan approval. The next part of the homebuyer's roadmap is normally looked at as the last part, the closing. This is when they deposit the balance of the down payment, sign the closing, loan papers. This is also when the loan is funded, the documents are recorded, and escrow is closed. I'd highly recommend trying to stay in touch with the clients and the agent. When you hear the closing date, put a reminder on your phone and don't forget to check in and congratulate them that evening. After they close, it's time to make their house a home. It's bigger than just decorating. It's moving in, homeowners insurance, making the home energy efficient, upgrades, security systems, and more. This is where you can over-deliver and create brand ambassadors. It also helps you create a bigger reach outside of just the home. Share information about the local attractions, restaurants, and anything else that can help them be happy, safe, and ultimately make their new house a home. The next and final step is selling the house. Of course, the processes change here and there, but for home inspectors, you need to educate the market on the importance of a pre-listing inspection. From here, your client will rotate through the home buyer's roadmap until they land on their forever home. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the home buyer's roadmap. Look, I truly hope you enjoyed it and will put this to work in your business. Thank you so much for your time. Please leave a comment below. If you have any questions, you can always email me, cj@inspectorbranding.com. This is basically the introduction to the course. I will see you in the next class, which is the social media matrix and party plan. Be great, stay boosted, and I'll see you there.